Hey guys, how is it all going? So, some very interesting news came out not long ago, and it looks like finally we could be getting a sequel to the 28 Days Weeks Later. Now, it's always been rumoured that the third movie would probably be called 28 Months Later, which makes sense because obviously you got days as the first one, weeks as the second, and months as the third. But it's never got off the ground, it's never got going for one reason or another. But only just recently we've had a little bit of hope because I have been wanting a third movie of this series for years and years and years. And I kind of given up hope that we would ever get one. But there was an interview recently, and there was an interview with Cillian Murphy and Danny Boyle. So I'm just going to read you what these guys had to say about potentially a sequel to these movies. So, actor Cillian Murphy, who starred in the first, obviously, and director Danny Boyle had a recent interview to celebrate the first film's 20th anniversary. It's been 20 years. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it has. Oh, I didn't even realise it was that long. God, I went to the cinema to watch the first one. That has made me feel really old. Anyway, I'll carry on with the interview, where they spoke briefly on this third project. Cillian was quoted saying, "Every time I do bump into Danny or Alex," I suppose that's Alex Garfield who wrote it, isn't it? "I always mention it because I showed it to my kids recently, some Halloween about 4 or 5 years ago, and they loved it. It really stands up." Yeah, it does. Which is amazing for a film that's 20 years old. I can't believe it's been 20 years. I didn't even realise. So yeah, I'd love the idea and it's very appealing to me. Danny also seems interested in possibility of returning to direct, saying, "I'd be very tempted to direct it." Oh, and I hope you do, mate. "It feels like a very good time, actually. It's funny, I hadn't thought about it until you said it, and I remember bang, this script, which is again set in England, very much about England. Anyway, we'll see, who knows." He adds, "It might come back into focus because of one of the things that's happening in the business at the moment is it has to be a big reason for you to go to the cinema because there are less and less reasons. It's hard for companies distributing films and for cinema chains to show films. They are struggling to get people into cinemas unless it's something like Top Gun Maverick or a Marvel movie. But a third part in this franchise would get people in if it was half decent." And you're absolutely right, mate, because it really would. It would get me in. It would get me hooked. Like I said, I have been waiting for a third movie in this franchise for a long time and really hope that we would get one. And it's been so long now, instead of calling it 28 months later, you might as well call it 28 years later. Because I'm not too sure whether Cillian Murphy's asking him to ever, could he be a part of the third movie? And if he is, which is a big if, I mean, it can't really be 28 months later, can it? Because as beautiful as that man is, he has aged 20 years. So it would have to be 28 years later if Cillian Murphy was in it. But whatever. It's all speculation. We don't know, but it's nice to discuss, isn't it, guys? But yeah, this sounds very interesting and hopeful. Oh, I'm so hopeful. I really want a third film in this franchise. I really do. I just think it would round it off perfectly. But if we don't get it, we've still always got 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. And I love both them movies. But if someone asked me which one is your favourite, and they're both like this, guys. I mean, they really are. Like, they're close to being neck and neck with each other. I would have to say I just slightly would give the edge to 28 Weeks Later. Because I just thought there was just a little bit more, rage virus action candy in it with the infected, which I liked a bit more. It was a bit more actiony, the second one, which I appreciated. And also the opening to that movie is just, I was on the edge of my seat when I first watched that, man. Like that is a way to start a horror movie. It's probably one of my favourite openings of any horror movie ever. Like, it gets the blood pumping. I love it. But yeah, guys, this is great news. So, what do you all think, guys? Are you a fan of this series? Which one do you like? Do you like days? Do you like weeks? Do you like them both? Which one do you prefer? If there is going to be a third movie, what do you think it could be? Do you think it will probably end up being 28 months later? Or do you think they might come up with a different title? What do you think the movie might be about? What would be your story? What would you like to see? I know that's a lot of questions, but guys, it is always a pleasure from hearing from you. So just leave a comment below. And as always, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you again real soon. Take care, guys. Goodbye now.